Many drivers assume going electric costs a fortune, but that assumption might be about to crumble. And this isn't a concept, it's real, and it's sending shockwaves through Tesla, Ford, and every other automaker still clinging to high prices. In this video, we're breaking down how Toyota pulled this off, why it's a direct attack on Tesla's empire, and what it means for you. Just think about it. Is this the end of overpriced electric vehicles? Can Tesla survive a war it never wanted? And are gas cars officially finished? Stick with me, because if you're even thinking about buying a new car, what you learn in the next few minutes could save you thousands. Performance. Have you seen an electric sport utility vehicle so efficient it rivals models 3 times the price, without any range anxiety? That may sound like wishful thinking, but Toyota just made it real. And no, this isn't some glorified golf cart with flashy branding. This is a full-sized electric vehicle that takes performance out of the premium-only club and puts it directly into the hands of everyday drivers. Toyota's newest electric sport utility vehicle reportedly achieves up to 300 miles on a single charge. That puts it in the same territory as respected premium brands. But here's what makes it even more impressive. This is not a vehicle designed for pampered weekend drives. It's engineered for everyday use. Commuters, school runs, grocery trips, and weekend getaways. Acceleration from 0 to 60 miles per hour is estimated at under 7 seconds. While exact figures may vary, the responsiveness of the powertrain is described as instant and smooth. There is no gear lag, no engine noise, just torque. Immediate, confident, quiet acceleration. That changes the daily driving experience. On the highway during rush hour, you can merge with confidence. Passing is no longer a gamble. It's a press of the pedal. That kind of drivability used to be exclusive to vehicles with price tags north of $50,000. Thanks to a low center of gravity from the battery placement and optimized chassis dynamics, the car hugs corners with stability. Weight distribution is balanced, and steering feels precise. For a sport utility vehicle built with affordability in mind, its dynamic composure is remarkable. The suspension absorbs potholes and speed bumps without jarring feedback. It floats just enough to feel cushioned, but remains planted to inspire confidence. Road and wind noise are surprisingly muted, which enhances the feeling of driving something more expensive. Of course, much of this performance is made possible by what Toyota refers to as a new battery chemistry, but we'll explore that in depth in the platform section. What matters now is how it feels from the driver's seat. Instant torque, long range, tight handling, smooth cruising, and peace of mind. Performance is no longer a premium-only privilege. Toyota has given everyday drivers access to what used to be locked behind luxury paywalls. This changes who can drive electric. Not just enthusiasts or early adopters, but families, first-timers, and anyone looking to drive with confidence and style. So yes, it's thrilling on the road. But is it just as thrilling inside? Prepare to be surprised. But before we get into the details, subscribe and hit that bell icon. Interior. When you sit in the driver's seat, the first thing you'll notice is the center screen. A massive 14-inch touchscreen commands attention. It's fully integrated, angled perfectly, and surrounded by sleek design lines. The graphics are crisp. The responsiveness is near instant. Navigation, entertainment, vehicle settings all feel years ahead of what you'd expect at this price. Then there's the 8-inch digital driver display, giving you range, speed, navigation cues, and energy usage. The display adjusts based on driving mode and lighting conditions, further proving that Toyota's engineers didn't just copy premium brands, they refined them. Material quality follows suit. Expect soft-touch panels, well-stitched upholstery, and accents that feel more luxury than budget. Controls are intuitive. Nothing rattles or feels hollow. It's solid, quiet, thought out. Multiple USB ports, a wireless charging pad, and rear air vents all come standard. Even a foldable center armrest is included for second-row passengers. Toyota clearly understands what modern drivers expect. 32 different ambient light color options let drivers personalize the cabin atmosphere. Want cool blue for late-night drives? Prefer warm amber for evening commutes? It's a touch of personalization that usually belongs to high-end models. Seat cushioning strikes a balance between firm and forgiving. Rear space is generous, and seats fold flat to extend cargo space. Headroom and legroom rival mid-size models, proving this isn't just about squeezing people into a box. Safety features include adaptive cruise control, automatic emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, and lane keeping assist, not as stripped-down add-ons, but as responsive and fully integrated tools. This is high-tech meeting high value. The result is a cabin that exceeds expectations and makes you question why you ever accepted less. If you thought the inside was impressive, wait until you see how it all looks from the outside. Exterior. Here's where it gets really interesting, because a low-cost electric vehicle doesn't have to look low-cost anymore. Toyota knows first impressions matter, and this vehicle makes one. The front design features a grille-less face and sleek LED lighting. The headlamp assembly stretches toward the fenders, creating width and presence. A sculpted lower fascia adds aggression without complexity. From the side, proportions are impressive. This isn't a compact hatchback pretending to be a sport utility vehicle. The long wheelbase and short overhangs give it balance. A slightly tapered roofline keeps it aerodynamic without sacrificing interior space. Black pillars and a floating roof create a sleek silhouette. Two-tone paint options add visual flair. The shoulder line runs smoothly from front to back, ending in an angled rear with thin LED tail lamps and a tailgate spoiler. Flush-mounted door handles and multi-spoke alloy wheels support the modern look. Flared wheel arches hint at off-road capability, even if most driving stays on pavement. But it's not all about looks. This is a true sport utility vehicle in dimensions, with decent ground clearance for curbs and potholes, excellent visibility, and thoughtful side mirror placement. Blind spots are minimal. Cargo access is just as thoughtful. A wide rear hatch, low loading floor, and tie-down points make it practical. Underfloor storage adds convenience. So it looks the part, but how did Toyota actually build this game changer? That's where things get really clever. Platform. Toyota teamed up with GAC to do something no other manufacturer dared, and it changed everything under the hood. What most people don't realize is that this partnership wasn't just a shortcut to cost savings. It was a complete structural re-engineering of how electric vehicles can be made, and it just might flip the global auto industry on its head. GAC, also known as Guangzhou Automobile Group Company Limited, has spent years mastering the art of producing electric vehicles at volume without blowing budgets. This isn't just a Chinese factory with low wages. It's a vertically integrated powerhouse that fine-tuned every part of the EV manufacturing pipeline. Toyota saw that mastery and decided to tap into it rather than rebuild the wheel from scratch. The result? A highly efficient, streamlined supply chain where everything from raw material procurement to final assembly moves in lockstep, with minimal waste and lightning-fast turnaround. No bloated processes, no clunky oversight, just raw, scalable output. This collaboration alone gave Toyota a leap forward in manufacturing capacity and cost management. But they didn't stop there. The real transformation came when Toyota made a bold move away from conventional lithium-ion batteries and instead committed to lithium iron phosphate technology. That might sound like a small technical shift, but it's a tectonic one. Traditional lithium-ion batteries require expensive and often geopolitically sensitive materials like cobalt and nickel. These materials not only inflate prices but also create supply vulnerabilities that ripple across continents. Lithium iron phosphate, on the other hand, is simpler, cheaper, more stable, and surprisingly durable. It resists overheating, it charges faster, and it doesn't degrade nearly as quickly over time. In essence, Toyota opted for a battery that plays the long game. Less flashy on paper, but more practical for mass deployment. And because it avoids the most controversial rare earth elements, Toyota can source and scale without being held hostage by foreign policy flare-ups or resource monopolies. Still, batteries are only one part of the platform revolution. Toyota brought something to the table that no Chinese startup, no matter how efficient, could match: global manufacturing scale. With more than a dozen global production hubs and over 80 years of streamlining mass production, Toyota understands operational efficiency at a level few companies ever will. They weren't just building a new electric car. They were applying the Toyota production system to an entirely new era of mobility. Every component, every material input, every machine hour, it's all tracked, refined, and pushed to the limit of lean production. This kind of precision is how Toyota has built a reputation for bulletproof reliability, and now they're wielding that same discipline to drive down EV production costs. What would take other automakers 5 years and billions of dollars to develop, Toyota accomplished through a strategic marriage of scale, engineering know-how, and supply chain mastery. Together, these factors didn't just bring down costs, they obliterated them. Toyota didn't need to invent new materials or redesign their entire vehicle architecture from the ground up. They simply found the most efficient path forward and walked it faster than anyone else. That's why this isn't just a platform story. It's a playbook. If other automakers want to compete, they now have to either replicate Toyota's GAC-style partnerships or spend untold billions building the same capabilities internally. Neither option is cheap, and both take time. That's the quiet genius behind Toyota's platform. It's not just functional, it's years ahead. And this changes everything because it means the usual excuses about electric vehicle prices no longer hold water. Legacy automakers can't fall back on the old narrative of batteries are expensive or supply chains are complicated. Toyota solved that puzzle. Now the real question becomes, if they can build it this cheap, what are they going to charge? Price: $13,000. That's less than most used gasoline cars. Ready for the real shocker? Toyota isn't even trying to make money off this vehicle, at least not at first. This isn't a sales gimmick or a limited time offer. It's a long-term strategy, and it has the potential to turn the entire auto industry upside down. Toyota knows exactly what it's doing. By offering a fully electric sport utility vehicle at this price point, they are throwing down a gauntlet to the likes of Tesla, General Motors, Ford, and even Chinese manufacturers like Build Your Dreams. It's a strategic move to undercut not just one competitor, but every automaker still clinging to traditional pricing models. And they're doing it with full awareness that their margins will suffer. At least for now. This is what economists call a loss leader, a product sold at or below cost to gain market share, build customer loyalty, or disrupt the status quo. In Toyota's case, it's all three. They're not just aiming to sell units. They're aiming to dominate electric mobility for the next 2 decades. And to do that, they're willing to bleed now so they can thrive later. Because here's the catch. The $13,000 price tag might be shocking, but the real business plan isn't about the car. It's about everything that comes after. Connected services, software subscriptions, over-the-air updates, future hardware upgrades, insurance partnerships, even energy services like home battery integration and smart grid charging. These are the future revenue streams, and Toyota knows it. It's the same playbook Amazon used in e-commerce. Sell products at razor-thin margins or even at a loss, then make your money on services, loyalty, and ecosystem dominance. Tesla tried a version of this with software-enabled features and full self-driving subscriptions. But their vehicles were still too expensive for mass-market adoption. Toyota's model is different because it starts by making the car accessible to everyone, not just early adopters or tech enthusiasts. Now imagine the impact. A family with 2 kids and a tight budget can suddenly afford a brand new electric sport utility vehicle without compromising on features or safety. College students, first-time car buyers, ride-share drivers, delivery fleets. All these segments now have access to clean transportation at a price point that previously only applied to beat-up used cars with hundreds of thousands of miles. And that means pressure. Lots of it. Automakers like Tesla can't afford to slash prices to match without gutting their entire profit model. Companies like General Motors and Ford would have to overhaul their entire production pipeline just to compete. And overseas competitors like Build Your Dreams now face a branding crisis. If Toyota is the new face of affordable electric mobility, where does that leave everyone else? This isn't just a pricing strategy. It's a power play. Toyota is using its size, its scale, and its global footprint to dictate the terms of the electric vehicle future. They're betting that if they can get millions of people into their ecosystem, they won't need to profit on the vehicle sale itself. The long game is lifetime customer value, and they're playing it better than anyone else. But there's a twist, because just when it seems like Toyota has cleared every hurdle, there's one major roadblock standing in the way of total domination. And it's not engineering, it's not price. It's something much more complicated: drawback. Think this is an instant slam dunk? Here's the painful truth that could keep you from ever driving it. For all of Toyota's genius in engineering, partnerships, and pricing, there is one obstacle that could grind everything to a halt: market access. This electric sport utility vehicle is not yet confirmed for release in the United States or most European markets. That's not just disappointing, it's potentially catastrophic. Regulatory barriers, safety compliance standards, and import restrictions form a dense web of bureaucracy that could prevent Toyota from bringing this car to the people who want it most. Start with the basics. Countries like the United States require every vehicle to pass crash tests, emission standards, and a battery of safety protocols. That sounds fair until you realize these tests are designed around gasoline vehicles and legacy automakers. An ultra-low-cost EV built to Chinese production specs might need significant redesigns just to meet these rules, which adds time, complexity, and cost. Then there's the infrastructure problem. Even if the car were allowed into these markets tomorrow, would buyers have enough charging stations to support it? Many cities in North America and Europe are still years behind where they need to be. For people living in apartments or without home garages, charging remains an unsolved problem. And finally, there's the dealer model. Toyota's global dealer network is vast, but launching a vehicle this disruptive through traditional retail channels poses risks. Dealers rely on markups. They depend on service revenue. A vehicle with a $13,000 price tag and minimal maintenance needs isn't exactly a profit machine for local retailers. Convincing them to push this model could be an uphill battle. All of this means that Toyota's path forward is not as clear-cut as it seems. Engineering and pricing were the easy part. Now comes the hard part: adapting to regulations, convincing dealers, and scaling infrastructure fast enough to meet demand. And that's before we even consider potential backlash from entrenched automakers or political pressure to protect domestic industry. So while Toyota's new electric vehicle might be ready for the world may not be ready for it. That's the real catch. And it's one that could reshape not just Toyota's strategy, but the entire EV rollout timeline across developed nations. Toyota's ready, but what about everyone else? Let's see who's panicking first. Competitor Tesla. Tesla never anticipated that an affordable electric vehicle could challenge its position at the very heart of the market it helped popularize. For years, Tesla's name stood for futuristic design, cutting-edge software, and a certain level of luxury that justified higher prices. Buyers were willing to pay a premium because they believed Tesla was the benchmark for performance and technological flair. That strategy worked as long as every other electric vehicle cost just as much or lacked the range and brand prestige to compete. The environment changed the moment Toyota announced a fully electric sport utility vehicle for $13,000. Suddenly, Tesla's crown jewel, the high-margin approach built on exclusivity, became a liability. When individuals discovered they can switch to electric driving without spending 3 or 4 times more than Toyota's new offering, the perception of Tesla as the only real option for a reliable and long-range electric experience starts to slip away. Consumers who once aspired to buy a Tesla may ask themselves if an upscale logo is worth the extra money. Even Tesla's fierce brand loyalty is tested when Toyota's product provides enough performance to handle daily commutes and road trips at a fraction of the usual price. Tesla also faces an internal cost structure that is not easy to pivot. Vertical integration gave Tesla a head start when electric vehicles were still niche, but it also means the company is locked into a specific manufacturing approach. Slashing the price of the Model Y, for instance, impacts Tesla's margins more dramatically than it would for companies with global production ecosystems or more flexible supply chain strategies. While Tesla could develop a lower-cost model, automotive development and manufacturing retooling require significant time. In an industry that moves faster every year, any delay could be devastating. Some fans will argue that Tesla's brand strength and proprietary charging network will keep it at the top. Yet these strengths are slowly eroding. Third-party charging infrastructure expands daily, and multiple automakers have begun integrating universal charging standards. As competition intensifies, the supercharger advantage may no longer be enough to command premium pricing. Consumers want to see whether Tesla can adapt quickly, or if the brand that once embodied the future will become a victim of its own success. The irony is that Tesla practically ignited the global electric vehicle revolution, only to be forced into a price war by a legacy automaker that took its time to strike. But Tesla is not the only brand fighting to survive the onslaught of Toyota's budget-friendly move. There was once another champion of inexpensive electric vehicles that carved out a massive audience based on cost appeal alone, and it may have even more to lose than Tesla. Competitor Build Your Dreams. Build Your Dreams achieved global recognition by doing exactly what its name implied, giving drivers the dream of owning an electric vehicle without the daunting price tag. That identity made Build Your Dreams a major force in regions where cost sensitivity is paramount. It managed to undercut many competitors by fine-tuning battery supply chains and optimizing manufacturing in ways newcomers could not match. For a while, Build Your Dreams stood unchallenged as the go-to for affordable but reasonably equipped electric vehicles. Then Toyota arrived with a price that undercuts almost every product in Build Your Dreams lineup. While Build Your Dreams has offered modestly priced electric sedans and compact sport utility vehicles, the sudden emergence of Toyota's $13,000 sport utility vehicle is a new level of shock. It is not only more affordable, it also carries the benefit of Toyota's respected reputation. Build Your Dreams, as a brand, simply does not evoke the same global trust that Toyota commands. When consumers weigh two cost-effective options, they may lean toward the company with a proven history of reliability and service support. Build Your Dreams finds itself in a precarious position. If it slashes its prices further to compete head-on with Toyota, it risks cutting deeply into its margins. When small profits vanish, even large volume sales may not be enough to sustain operations. Meanwhile, if Build Your Dreams holds prices steady, it cedes ground to Toyota, whose enormous manufacturing scale and brand recognition might eclipse Build Your Dreams entirely in the entry-level segment. This forces the company to contemplate a significant shift: either move upmarket and risk losing its core audience, or remain budget-focused and battle Toyota's unstoppable global presence. Neither option is ideal, which underscores how Toyota's move has shaken an entire sector that Build Your Dreams once dominated. Many drivers in emerging markets saw Build Your Dreams as the single most practical electric vehicle option. Today, that perception is in flux. Buyers are eager to see if Build Your Dreams can maintain its status as the champion of cost-efficient electric driving, or if Toyota's aggressive pricing strategy will push Build Your Dreams into the background. With Build Your Dreams facing the loss of its trademark affordability advantage, another legendary player in the automotive world must brace for change. In North America, one brand's entire identity has long been tied to robust trucks and classic performance, and it never expected to be blindsided by a sudden price shift in electric vehicles. Competitor Ford. Ford built an enduring image around powerful engines, rugged pickup trucks, and iconic sports cars. During the last few years, it began venturing into electric vehicles, revealing the electric version of its most famous truck, and even creating a battery-powered twist on a legendary sports car nameplate. These moves were designed to stand up against Tesla, which Ford viewed as its primary challenger in the new electric era. The problem is that Toyota's $13,000 sport utility vehicle rewrote the rules of engagement. While Ford focused on higher-margin electric vehicles, such as the battery-powered truck and a sporty crossover, Toyota was patiently developing a mass-market disruptor. Ford's assumption was that an electric pickup appealing to brand-loyal drivers would keep it profitable and relevant. This bet made sense when the main electric competition carried premium price tags. But Toyota's decision to sell at a loss upended the entire notion of where the bottom end of the market might land. Buyers who simply need a spacious and efficient daily driver may feel little incentive to pay more for a truck or high-performance model. Now Ford must decide whether to chase lower pricing to stay competitive. Slashing the cost of an electric truck is no simple feat, especially given the substantial investment in battery resources and assembly retooling. Without the ability to quickly pivot into ultra-budget models, Ford risks being overshadowed in a space it did not even realize would explode so soon. The brand, once preparing to match Tesla's moves, is left scrambling to address a challenge from a more traditional rival. Ford also faces a cultural and consumer identity hurdle. Many of its loyal customers are devoted to the brand's heritage and image, rather than the concept of affordable electric mobility. Shifting that narrative may prove more daunting than any factory upgrade or supply chain fix. If Toyota transforms low-cost electric vehicles into the default choice for families, Ford's premium electric trucks could face an awkward position, priced too high for mass adoption, yet lacking enough cachet to rival true luxury. As the electric vehicle landscape tilts toward affordability at an astonishing pace, Ford's carefully crafted portfolio might need an immediate overhaul. Every manufacturer in this race faces urgency, but Ford's predicament stands out because it must reconcile its famous truck legacy with a rapidly evolving market. Will it do so quickly enough, or will Toyota's newest move spark a wave of budget-focused competition that leaves Ford's high-stakes projects in the dust? Now that every major player from Tesla to BYD to Ford has felt the shock, one question stands. Will the entire industry pivot faster than anyone imagined? Or will this push for inexpensive electric vehicles stall in the face of real-world obstacles, such as regulatory issues and infrastructure limits? What do you think? Let's comment down below.